On June 30th, Jupiter leaves Cancer and it won't return for another 12 years. That means you are inside the final 8 weeks of one of the most emotionally significant transit of this decade. Jupiter in Cancer is a rare placement. This is Jupiter in the sign where it works best, most powerful, most generous, most aligned with the deepest nature, the nature of intuition, of belonging, of building a life from the inside out. What I want to do in this video is give every sign a clear picture of what this transit has actually been doing in your life, where the growth has been moving, what is still available in these remaining weeks, and how to use this window before it closes. Jupiter expands whatever house it moves through. In Cancer, that expansion is emotional and deep. It moves through the willingness to tend to the inner landscape of your life with the same seriousness you bring to your career or your public identity. For 11 months, every sign has had access to something specific, an area of life where growth has fully supported. The question is whether you were aware enough to guide it. These final 8 weeks are a closing chapter, and closing chapters deserve full attention. Aries and Aries rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your fourth house, the house of home, family, and emotional foundation. For 11 months, the growth has been pointing inward into the roots of who you are beneath the identity you show the world. The inherited patterns, the emotional structure laid down before you were aware enough to question it. What this transit has been offering is genuine belonging, rooted in something internal, something that holds even when the outer structure shifts. If you've been found yourself drawn to questions about where you truly belong, or a longing of safety that feels more stable than what you've been known before, that is Jupiter working. In these remaining weeks, the invitation is to return to whatever emotional question you've been cycling without fully answering. There is something in your private inner life, a wound around belonging, a belief about what safety requires, that this transit has been bringing to light. Jupiter doesn't ask you to perform healing. It asks you to actually look. What you are willing to face now will form the ground from which the next 12 years grow. Taurus and Taurus rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been expanding your third house, the house of voice, thoughts, and the intelligence you carry and share. This is the transit of finally saying the thing, of trusting that what lives in your mind is worth putting into words other person can receive. For a thing that holds things slowly and turns idea over before letting them go, Jupiter has been asking for a different relationship with expression, one where the thinking is offered before it reaches a state of perfect completion. The growth has been in the act of communicating itself. These final weeks are asking you to release something, to let it move from the private space of your own mind into the shared world of another person's awareness. A letter, a piece of writing, a conversation you've been putting off because the timing never felt right. The timing, it's now. Gemini and Gemini rising. Jupiter has been moving through your second house, the house of resources, values, and what you believe you are worth at the level of identity, deeper than income. Most people read the second house as purely financial and miss what it is actually about. The deep belief you carry about whether you are enough. For Gemini, whose mind moves quickly between possibilities, the second house asks for something that doesn't come naturally. A lasting commitment to a single sense of your own value. Jupiter here has been making that question louder. What you earn, and deeper than that, what you believe you deserve to receive. In this week's remaining, the real work is an honest inner look, where you are still settling for less, accepting a small version of what you want because some part of you believes more isn't yours to have. Jupiter in Cancer grows your ability to receive by growing your belief in your own worth. That is the closing chapter this transit is offering you. Cancer and Cancer rising. For you, this has been a Jupiter return, one of the most personally meaningful transits in astrology. Jupiter has been moving through your first house, the house of identity and presence, asking one essential thing: what you fully inhabit, who you already are. A Jupiter return in the first house asks you to stop making yourself smaller, your intelligence, your emotional authority, your way of moving through the world into a size that other people find less challenging. The growth has been the steady expansion of your own sense of self. These remaining weeks are for bold moves. Whatever version of yourself you have been holding back in a relationship, in a creative work, in a way you show up publicly, this is the transit that has been asking for that version specifically. The readiness has been building for 11 months. What you do in these 8 weeks is how you close this chapter with the fullness it deserves. Leo and Leo rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your 12th house, the house of retreat, of the hidden self, of work that happens beneath the surface and away from any audience. For a sign whose natural pull is toward light and recognition, this transit can feel strange. The growth hasn't been happening where you see it, but the 12th house is where the deepest rebuilding takes place. What Jupiter has been doing here is clearing, creating the inner space for something that hasn't existed yet. The quiet of this period is the necessary clearing that comes before the most significant visibility cycle of the next 12 years. In these final weeks, the invitation is completion and release. These are patterns. There are patterns, relationships, and inner stories that have been ready to live for longer than you've admitted to yourself. What you close deliberately now, what you let go of with full awareness rather than simply walking away from, is the work that clears the ground for what's coming. This transit asks for active choice. It requires the specific kind of courage it takes to end something on purpose. Virgo and Virgo rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been expanding your 11th house, the house of long range vision, community, and the size of dream you allow yourself to actually hold. For Virgo, those instinct is to refine and make things precise before committing. The 11th house asks for something different, the willingness to build toward a version before you can see everything step of the path. What Jupiter has been making louder here is the question of scale, whether you are building towards something that is actually the size of what you are capable of, or quietly limiting yourself to what feels personally manageable. In these remaining weeks, the invitation is to put the long range version uh, into words specific enough to guide you, a clear intention with enough shape to actually live toward. The community forming around a shared sense of what is possible, the relationships that have been growing during this transit, those are the structures Jupiter has been building. How deliberately you tend to them in this final chapter determines what they become. Libra and Libra rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your 10th house, career, public identity, and the story you are building in the world. In Cancer, it has been asking an honest question whether the professional identity you've been building actually reflects the person doing the building. For Libra, who moves through the tension between self and another with more care than almost any other sign, this transit has raised something specific. Whose approval have you been shaping your ambitions around? These final 8 weeks are a window of making something clear, one honest, deliberate move in the direction of your actual professional identity, the one that is specifically fully yours. A published piece, a clear public expression of your expertise, and a perspective that drives it. That drives it. What you put in the public record now will anchor the next chapter of your professional life. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been expanding your ninth house, the house of belief, meaning, and the inner framework through which you understand everything that happens to you. For Scorpio, this has been a real and significant transit. It has been offering a genuine expansion of the lens through which you can see the world. What it has been bringing to light in the gap between the belief system you were given and the one you have actually built through lived experience, asking you to take what you have been through, what you have faced in yourself, and build it from a way of seeing the world that is clearly your own. In these final weeks, the invitation is to bring that inner understanding into expression, to move it out of the private space of your own thinking and let it shape the way you speak, teach, and show up in the world. What you believe at the level of real conviction rather than inherited assumption is what this transit has been asking you to stand behind. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your eighth house, the house of emotional depth, shared resources, and the unspoken agreements that bind you to the people you are the most closely connected to. For Sagittarius, whose natural pull is toward freedom and new horizons, this house asks for the opposite, the willingness to stay with what is complex rather than moving toward what is new. What Jupiter has been growing here in your capacity for real closeness, the lived, present, day to day reality of it, which asks you to be seen in the places you haven't finished understanding yourself. The pattern this transit has been bringing to life is the distance you create as a way of protecting yourself from the full weight of saying of staying present in something that is asking for more of you. These final weeks are asking you to stay, to finish something that the previous version of you might have escaped. There is a depth available to you in a current relationship or inner process that has not yet fully entered, and the window for entering it with Jupiter's full support is closing. What you are willing to go all the way into now is what becomes wisdom you actually carry for the rest of your life. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your seventh house, the house of commitment, committed relationships, and close relationships. For Capricorn, whose instinct is toward self-reliance and individual achievement, this transit carries a specific invitation to stop building alone. What Jupiter has been growing here is your relationship to the idea of partnership itself. The recognition that the next level of what you are building may require another person's presence in the actual work, not just at the edge of it. In these remaining weeks, the invitation is to move further into a commitment that already exists, something that is asking for more of your presence, your trust, your willingness to let other person into the actual work of what you are building. That depth is what this transit has been preparing for you. Aquarius and Aquarius rising, Jupiter in Cancer has been expanding your sixth house, the house of daily structure, health, and habits that hold the lived reality of your life from day to day. For Aquarius, who tends to think at the level of the large and visionary, this transit has asked for a return to the immediate and the personal. The core question Jupiter has been raising here is direct. Is the structure of your actual daily life able to hold the larger work you are called to? Are the habits you are running serving the vision or quietly draining it? In these final weeks, the invitation is precise. One daily pattern that has been running on its own is giving you less and less deserves your full attention. A single daily habit built with real intention has the power to shift the entire felt quality of your life. This is where Jupiter in Cancer has been working. Don't underestimate it. Pisces and Pisces rising. Jupiter in Cancer has been moving through your fifth house, the house of creative expansion and the quality of aliveness that comes from creating from the place where you feel most fully yourself. For Pisces, this might be the most deeply felt placement in the entire transit cycle. Jupiter growing the imaginative depth you already carry. What this transit has been bringing to life in the difference between holding something beautiful inside and actually bring it into the world in finished form, the gap between the inner version and the outer expression that so often stays unclosed. These final weeks call for something specific, the courage to finish. There is a creative work, a piece of writing, a project, a way of expressing something you've been circling that is closer to finish than you've allowed yourself to admit. This window asks for one thing, completed and released into the world. 8 weeks. That is what remains of Jupiter working at full power, moving through the specific area of your chart that has been receiving its growth from the past 11 months. What I want you to sit with after this video is a single question. Where in your life have you been letting Jupiter's growth move through you without fully directing it? Receiving the expression without choosing what to do with it. The difference between a transit that changes your life and one that simply passes through it is awareness, a real choice to look at what is being shown to you and do something with what you see. These 8 weeks are yours. Use them with the full attention they deserve. Drop your rising sign in the comments and tell me what Jupiter in Cancer has been building in your chart. I want to know which part of this is speaking most directly to your current chapter.